Before we get into whether or not you should buy crypto right now, I just wanted to start off by showing this clip from Coffeezilla's latest interview with Sam Bankman-Fried. Coffeezilla has been one of the actual reporters going out and trying to interview Sam and trying to get him to admit to the fraud that he has committed. While a lot of media companies have been kind of dancing around the fact that Sam actually committed fraud, Coffeezilla has actually been going out and joining these Twitter interviews where Sam's been going on and basically fielding questions from fans. Now, to preface what Coffeezilla was asking Sam in this interview, he's basically asking him about this FTT coin that Sam created. There were two sides to it. There was a margin trading side that had a ton of risk associated, but there was also another bucket of investors that invested into the coin with kind of a 1-to-1 investment ratio, basically not expecting any volatility or real risk associated with the coin. And in FTX's terms of services, those two buckets or pools of money cannot be intermingled. These two funds must remain separate as they both present different forms of volatility, and it would be technically defrauding customers if both of these were together. So I'm just going to let this clip play and you can hear Sam talk about it.
So I'm specifically talking about what happened in the days immediately during and following the crash, in that 3 or so day period. And during that period, I think we may have allowed just generalized withdrawals. I think that was
as you can kind of hear him stumble after his words, he basically just admitted that he was allowing withdrawals between both funds and they were kind of combined together when really they should have been held separately. This is huge. I just wanted to kind of show this clip after my last video over the FTX incident. Coffeezilla has been doing amazing things. I'm going to link his video below, so you should definitely check it out. Quick side note, I did want to mention that Sam has been arrested while I was editing this video. It is confirmed he has been detained by Bahamas authorities, so we actually got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Sam ruined the crypto industry for years to come, and I will not be investing in any cryptos anytime soon. Sam has ruined crypto's already diminishing reputation and prevented any crypto firm from getting major investments anytime in the future. But does this mean it's the end of the crypto industry as a whole? Us at CJ Capital Management prefer investments that haven't been advertised by YouTube scammers, as we enjoy the security blanket that the SEC provides. But today we are going to take a deep dive into the crypto landfill. This is not financial advice. Do your own research before investing into anything. Now, if you did want to get a quick overview of exactly how Sam scammed investors out of billions, you should check out our last video. I did want to say quick thanks to everyone for checking out that video. Y'all left a ton of funny comments and thoughtful criticisms, and I really appreciate all of it. It means a lot that you guys would actually take the time out of your day to leave a comment. Also, I wanted to mention Patrick's comment here, reminding everyone that these guys are not kids. I called them kids a couple times in that video, but they are fully grown adults and should be held accountable as such. So even calling them kids makes it seem like they didn't know any better when these con men knew exactly that they were stealing billions. So yeah, I wanted to clarify that they are definitely not kids and should be in federal prison and not juvie. Now back to the crypto sphere. You're probably wondering why our opinion matters here at CJ Capital Management. We are historically proven crypto genius experts. We bought into Ethereum at $300 and sold it when the COVID bubble was so inflated. Michael Burry started dropping market predictions again, so we're practically the Warren Buffett of the industry. We also have never scammed $2 billion through crypto, so at least that makes us somewhat more credible than other people in the industry. Now, if you're a true value investor like Warren Buffett or your aging finance professor, then they'll probably tell you to avoid the crypto industry as a whole. The whole industry of coins that aren't backed by the dollar or any assets are just artificial tokens created out of thin air that have zero intrinsic value. The only thing that gives it any value is the demand for the coin, which is why it's been so easy for people to do pump and dumps and apparently create multi-billion-dollar Ponzi schemes. Crypto is regulated by a lot of governments, but due to not one definite set of rules and regulations, there are many ways for people to leave governments and surpass these regulations. For example, someone might move to the Bahamas in order to not have to pay any taxes off of your crypto scams. But then again, the whole point of finance is to buy low and sell high, right? And right now we're seeing the lowest the industry has been in some time. As I talked about in my FTX video, their fall from grace had a profound impact on the crypto sphere. The price of Bitcoin fell by 23% after their plummet, and Ethereum also went down around 24%. Now these are just the major coins. When you look at some smaller cap cryptos that FTX was a little more involved in, like Solana, they saw decreases of over 60%. Now, a lot of people that believe in the crypto industry might see these dips and see an opportunity to buy low while the market is recovering. But if you look at it more pessimistically, or if you're a Raiders fan, you're pretty used to failure. So why would you want to buy into a sinking ship? Both of them are totally possible options, and I'm not saying that we have the answer here on which exactly will happen. But the best thing we can do is look at the data and see what the market thinks. Because at the end of the day, the price is going to be what the market thinks the price is. If the general industry believes in a crypto coin, or if it believes in an asset or a security of any type, they will raise the price of it. That is what a stock price is. It's the market's belief of what that company is worth or what that company should be valued at. Now, recent surveys found that over half of Americans feel that cryptocurrencies are the future of finance, with over 3/4 of them, or about 79%, saying that they feel like there needs to be clear regulation, which I imagine will only skyrocket up after Sam Bankman-Fried's mugshot gets put on every billboard. To go along with those, over half of voters said that cryptocurrency is a path to a more equitable financial system that wants to rely less on banks and financial intermediaries and allow more people to enter into the financial systems. These findings are promising for any Elon fanboys that are still trying to ride that Doge wave. But these kind of scammy coins are not what these regulations are referring to. The big cryptocurrencies with real blockchain technology behind them and huge market caps are the ones that are going to be part of a potential future singular global currency. But there's a long way to go for that. There's still 9 countries, including China, that totally ban cryptocurrencies. So in order for it to be a global currency, it more than likely has to prove much more stability than dropping by 46% this year. But everyone says stability is the issue when we saw the metaverse, which was one of the most sought out stocks ever, hit the same 65% decrease that Bitcoin saw. It seems that the general consensus is that if we want a global currency that everyone can use, that is backed by one asset, it can't be something so volatile, which is why it already seems like a lot of countries are backing their currencies or just using the US dollar. Around 65 countries currently have their currency backed by the dollar, with 5 using it as their official currency. So if we make the move, most people will probably have to follow. I was going to say that once Elon got all of his idolizing fans to vote him into office, he'll probably switch the currency over pretty fast. But with the switching of public opinions, I doubt we'll see much candidacy in the future. Kanye probably has a better shot. Along with that, with the age range that we're currently recruiting presidents for, I doubt we'll get a crypto-informed leader anytime soon. That's not to say there's not regulation going on with the industry, because we're seeing a lot more awareness, and I feel like this FTX court case is going to lay some groundwork for future crypto legislation. But none of that convinces us to invest in the future. Without a centralized governing body over cryptocurrencies, there will more than likely not be a whole lot of stability in the price. As we've seen the fluctuation recently, because there is no entity with a large market share, investor panic or big news in the crypto sphere will cause huge bank runs for crypto. Many are saying that the impacts of FTX on the industry are reminiscent of the failures of Wall Street firms during the 2008 financial crisis. With many Wall Street investors heavily invested in FTX, we saw major hits to a lot of large capital firms. Now, this can be attributed to FTX, but like I said, the price will reflect what the market thinks. And with consumers worried about Sam Bankman-Fried lurking in the shadows, it's going to take a while for consumer trust in the industry to be built back up. I think the real problem with the FTX event is the fact that in order for investor trust to be regained in the industry, we will need to see a lot more regulatory actions take place. If investors have the same trust when talking to crypto firms as they do looking over public company 10Ks, then I think we will get to a place where we're seeing $100 million investments in crypto firms happening again. But until then, I doubt people will want to put their money where their mouth is. Corey Clipston, the CEO of Swan Bitcoin, was actually one of the people raising concerns about FTX's business model before their large collapse. But of course, his opinion was pushed down into the weeds. He's been talking a lot about Bitcoin's recent fall, saying, "I care because it's retail investors who suffer the most, because too many people still wrongly associate Bitcoin with this scammy crypto space," which I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. I believe Bitcoin itself will last the test of time, but all the fake noise going on around with your cartoon apes and shit coins are really going to continue to damage the reputation that the crypto industry has built. I think the industry will collapse if people associate the FTX downfall with crypto overall and not the awful con men associated with it. As the CEO of Binance tweeted, "What a shit show, and it's going to be crypto's fault instead of one guy." The industry is going to keep digging itself into a deeper hole the more consumers are worried about scammy cryptos and not Sam being the reincarnation of Bernie Madoff. Although many don't see the industry bouncing back for a while, at the Treasury Committee hearing, the crypto industry dismissed any suggestions that big changes needed to be made as a result of the FTX failure. Tim Grant, the head of Europe, Middle East, and Africa at the Crypto Investors Galaxy Digital said, "I think it would be very wrong to tar the entire industry by this one bad apple," which happened to be a very big apple. Also saying later, "We've lost 77 million at this point, which we don't feel really good about, but primarily the users were institutional, and also the equity investors were among the most sophisticated and largest investors in the world. So there were a lot of very experienced eyes on this. And what it tells us is that this was a bad actor who was doing things behind very closed doors that we had no view into as a broader group. That's the same as Bernie Madoff and other instances like that, and they were in regulated industries," which is true. The scams like this can happen to huge public companies like we saw with Enron, where we've had regulation, but this is still fallen through the cracks. And with the whole point of crypto being the lack of governance, I find it hard to believe that more regulation will keep more investors using it. Either way, we will continue to probably not invest in anything besides the major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and potentially Ethereum, but really no major percentage of our portfolio. Many experts believe that the price is reacting to major news events right now, and there is a target price of around 25K for the end of 2022. So there are a lot of projections of growth in Bitcoin alone, but that's where we believe you should keep your focus if you want to stay in the cryptosphere. All the other noise around is not really backed by a whole lot and doesn't have a whole lot of assets that give it any real intrinsic value. But we're not going to tell you where to put your money. Just do your research before you put it anywhere. That's about it from us here at CJ Capital Management. Thanks again for checking out the video. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting lately. If you enjoyed it or absolutely hated our opinions, let us know in the comments and subscribe. I'll see you around.